Welcome to the Contractors Secret Weapon Radio Podcast, the show dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, and others in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over their competition. Get ready for some inspiration, some encouragement, some proven business building strategies, and a couple of new ideas that can take your business to the next level and beyond. And now, broadcasting from the Contractors Secret Weapon Studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dave Negri.
Hey, it's Dave Negri. Welcome to another episode of Contractors Secret Weapon.
It's funny. I almost wanted to say my other podcast name, and then I was like, oh no, which podcast am I on right now?
Why don't you give that one plug right now?
Yeah. Well, which one, right? I'm a man of many podcasts.
Man of many podcasts.
Well, welcome everyone. Funny. I'm Pete Mitchell to his Dave Negri, and you are listening to the Contractor Secret Weapon. Now that I've got the right podcast mentally, what Dave is talking about is I do a couple other podcasts. I do one called the Church Planner Podcast. That is for church planners. It's the one I've been doing the longest time. And can I tell him the other one? Is that cool?
Yeah, I think a lot of them will switch over. I mean, not also right. Don't completely switch over, guys.
Right, don't
listen to both of them. Yeah.
I do another podcast. It's actually a new podcast. I think as we're recording this today, I think we've got 6 or 7 episodes released. It is called the From Concealment Podcast. It is all about guns, self-defense, competitions, shooting. My co-host and I, we are both avid gun enthusiasts, shall we say. We both love to do all that stuff. We have a ton of fun. We actually did, you'll be interested to know this, Dave, we actually did a really heavy episode we recorded yesterday. It won't be out for a few more weeks, on suicide with guns. And so we looked at, which is kind of a heavy topic, but I thought it was actually kind of really an interesting thing to look at, because we talk about everything, right? If it has to do with the shooting world and gun control, all that stuff, we talk about it, and you know, it's fun. We enjoy it. I enjoy it because I like to shoot.
It's fun. I've listened to it. It's really fun. You guys are you have a lot of fun, and it's a blast. Just interesting stuff.
Yeah. So, hey, Dave, you just got back from Italy. Let's hear about that trip, because I really want to hear about some of the marketing stuff that you picked up over there, because that's kind of how you and I look at the world. Everything we see, we're running it through a marketing lens, and I want to hear what you saw over there that stuck out to you.
Well, you know, I have to. It was kind of fun. We went to Italy, spent 2 weeks in Italy. Like I said before, talking about walking, man. We walked 30 miles, and because you got the little app on your phone, it tells you how many miles or how many steps and all that fun stuff. And I'm going, I'm too old for this. But we went to Rome, spent 3 days in Rome, and that was fun. It was a fun experience. And, you know, on some of the other podcasts, we've really been hitting hard the how to be different. You know, don't be commonplace, don't be a commodity. What can you do to make your business stand out? And this really, this one restaurant just really went over the top. And I wrote them an awesome review on TripAdvisor because they were so good. As a matter of fact, we ate there 3 times.
Wow.
And the food was good. I mean, it wasn't superb, but it was the experience that kept us coming back. And the funny part about the whole thing is they know that you're a tourist. And, you know, what are you going to be there, a day or 2? So they went above and beyond for you to come and enjoy the experience and enjoy Rome, which I thought was pretty cool because, you know, it could have been, you're here, eat, goodbye, no big deal. But they did. They really went out. So let me tell you what happened. We're coming back. I think we're coming back. We took a tour of the Vatican. It was right across the street in this little restaurant, which was first in line to 7 other restaurants that had tables outside, and it was right around the corner from our little hotel. we come walking by, and this guy Angelo comes out, and he's got a bottle of prosecco, and he goes, "Are you guys thirsty?" And he gives us each a shot. I said, "I don't drink." So he's okay. So he went in. Now this is a thing that was really unique. He went and opened up a bottle of water and gave me a shot of water.
Okay.
Which was he says, "Do you guys want stop and have a drink, something to eat?" I said to the girls, "Well, let's have some wine." So they had some wine, and I had a Coke, and I think my brother-in-law had wine too. And so we just sat there and watched the experience of him meeting and greeting everyone and doing the same thing to everyone that walked by. Huh. So the goal was to influence them enough, give them the experience enough so that they would sit down and eat, or sit down like we didn't have a bottle of wine and drink and just sit there for a while. It was fun watching the experience. So then we said, "We're coming back for dinner." And so he says, "Okay, great." So my brother-in-law says, "Do you have any pasta fagioli?" And he goes, "No, but you come back and I'll have some for you." So that was kind of interesting. So we come back a couple hours later for dinner, and Angelo comes out. Oh, this was a really cool thing too. On the receipt, he goes, "This," and which is kind of it was funny, but it was just to let you know, Angelo does take tips.
And I take it he was Angelo.
And he was Angelo.
Yeah.
So that was fine, but I just thought that was.
Was it handwritten on there, or was it printed on there?
Oh, yeah, he wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
I like it.
Which was pretty cool. So we paid the bill, left him a tip. We came back later, and so Angelo remembers us and greets us and all this other stuff, and he gets, and Allo comes over, this other waiter comes over, and he goes, "I'm more better than Angelo. I'm your waiter." Okay. His name was Allo. So we ended up calling him More Better.
Nice.
Forget about Allo. More Better, come here. And so we had fun with him. So the girls were asking. That wasn't that night. It was so we sat and we ate dinner, and they had Larry's bean soup. They made it for him special, knowing that we were coming back. I mean, that's an extreme experience.
Right. Yeah.
Just
no one does that.
Yeah, no. And the cool thing was that when we left, we said goodbye and all that stuff. And the next day, because we were walking back and forth by the restaurant every day, because it was on the way to somewhere, to whatever. So we went by, and he comes out, and Angelo gives us all a hug. "Hey, we're so glad to see you. Come back later for dinner if you want." "Well, we're going to eat somewhere else tonight, but maybe the next night." He goes, "Okay, great."
How many times did you end up going there?
I ended up going there 3 times. Because of the experience. The food was good. No. It wasn't outrageous, but it was a fair price, and the food was good. But it was the experience. So the next night we go there, we're sitting at the table, and the girls ask, and we didn't know this, the girls asked, there's 2 new people. There's Allo, there's Angelo, who was there in the beginning, and he's pretty much the greeter and the guy to get you in the house to sit down and have dinner with the free Prosecco and stuff like that. And it worked. I mean, it worked. Unbelievable how many people would just, "Oh, yeah, we're ready for dinner. We'll sit down and eat." So we're sitting there, and the girls asked.
Wait. Let me back up. So he was basically recruiting people off the street to go eat? Like they weren't coming up to the restaurant? He was like, "Hey, come on in."
They were walking by. There's hundreds of people that walk by all day long. And so
that's salesmanship.
While he's out there, he's giving everybody a little shot of Prosecco. Just, the reciprocity. I'm giving you something for free. And it's the Prosecco.
I get it. So he's offering them that.
Yeah,
without
just to try it.
Let me give you this, and that's why he gave you the shot of water.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, would you like to have dinner here?" And people are like, "Yeah, I would actually."
Sure, why not?
The Lavra, dude, that is brilliant.
Brilliant. I mean, and the other restaurants were sucking a hind one because he was getting everybody. I mean, somebody pull up in a car and he'd walk over and grab them and give them a little shot of Prosecco. Didn't matter who they were. He'd talk with them. If they were cute, he'd say, "Hey, I'm not married." If husband and wife, I'm not married. Just having fun with them. But it was really good. So the other night we went. So we had the wine. We ate dinner. I think we went back. It had to be the two nights later because we were only there 3 nights. And so we're sitting there, and the girls ask, "Well, do you have gluten-free bread?" And come to find out, the owner was behind us, sitting down eating. So he told Angela, "Go get some gluten-free bread for these people." And
really?
I said, "No, don't worry about it. We don't have to have it." But it was fun. It was just a fun experience. So we got the last night that we ate dinner there, we have Angelo, we have Aiello, we have a new girl, Jutsi. Well, she was cute as a button. She was from Nigeria. It was kind of funny. She had family in the United States. She'd been in Italy like 17 years. And I think she had family in England too, and in Nigeria. But they had pretty much moved over. Sweet, cute as a button, real sweet, bubbly. And then there was Annalisa, was the bartender in the back. So we ended up calling her, "You're the best." And Aiello was more better. And we just had a blast. So we had so much fun that we ended up taking a picture of everybody in the restaurant with their arms around these 4 people. And so we said, "Hey, we're taking a picture." And everybody who was sitting down at the tables came up and got in the picture. And we posted it.
Fun.
Yeah, and we posted it to I posted it on TripAdvisor for them. Because we did have fun. I mean, it was totally the experience. And they could have just been like anybody else, regular old restaurant. You're a tourist.
You said they were on a street. There was like 6 or 7 restaurants right next to each other, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they
were the first one, and they took advantage of the position.
Okay, so they were the first one.
They were the first one when you walked up to pretty much on that end there of the street. But they were the first one. But he knew how to take advantage of the position.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that law of reciprocity that you're talking about is such a great thing. I don't know if I've shared this on this podcast. I might have. If I have, it's worth repeating. So one of the groups I work with are called auto detailers, or detailers, and we're always talking about how they can get more business. And so one of the things that they do, and now I'm not a detailer, right? My partner on that is the detailer. He's the one who understands that world. But one of the things that they'll do that's a high value thing for them is called color correction or paint correction. So, the older a car gets, the worse the paint gets. If it's black, it gets what they call spider webbing. And, if it's red, it starts to fade a little bit. So when they do a color correction, depending on, I guess, how many passes they do, and I don't exactly know what that means, but how many times I guess they go over the whole car is what I assume it to mean. Depends on how much it's going to cost. So it'll cost on the cheap end $360 to on the high end maybe $1,000 for a color correction. So
you gotta love your car.
Well, and the thing is people who hire detailers usually do, especially these detailers. True, yeah. They're very high end detailers. And I mean, this is not by any means the top of the line service that they have. This is kind of like an intermediate service that they do. And so one of our guys was saying what he does. Someone calls him up, hires him to do just a regular, maybe wash and wax detail with a clay bar. And if I have any idea what that means, I would tell you, right? This is the term that they use. So I don't exactly know what a clay bar is, but apparently it makes the car look really good. So he'll start talking to the client if he thinks that they need a paint correction. And then he'll say, "Hey, look, here's what I'll do. Let me do half your hood as a paint correction. You can drive it around for a day. If you like it, bring it back, and I'll finish off the whole car. So I'll do the half of a hood for nothing. I just want you to be able to see the difference between the one side and the other. If you don't like it, you're not going to want half your hood done. Bring it back. I'll do the other side of the hood We just won't do the rest of the car. No harm, no foul. You go on your way, I go on my way.
Right.
So he's doing a little bit of risk reversal there, right? Because I'm not going to make your car look horrible. And let me just show you this. Almost like the law of reciprocity that you were talking about, where they're giving them the drink to get people into the restaurant, and they're giving it to them first before they even say, hey, are you looking for a restaurant for dinner? And interestingly enough, he goes, every single person I've done that for has come back and said, why don't you go ahead and do the whole car?
Yeah.
And he never had to do the other half of the hood for free. One of the other guys will do, like if you've got chrome rims, one of the things that's controversial in the detailing world is how you clean the rims. And my partner, who's very well known in the detailing world, he uses some sort of acid. And I don't know what the acid is, but he literally just spritzes the acid on the chrome, and they look fantastic. And I know this firsthand because when I had my Mustang, I had chrome rims. And when I had him detail my car the first time, I was like, I can't believe how good my rims look. What'd you do? And he's like, yeah, that's why I use the acid that, is very like controversial in the industry, but it takes me 3 seconds to spritz it on and it's done. And so what one of the guys started doing was, hey, I've got this upsell, right? A premium service. I can really make those chrome rims of yours look really good. And I don't remember what he was charging for it. And some people would, I don't know if I want it. And he goes, let me just do one rim. And when we're all done, if you can't notice the difference between that one rim and the rest, hey, I won't, maybe I can't remember if he offered to do the other side or he's like, you can just see. And if you like the difference, then you can pay me and I'll do the rest of the rims. And it's such a dramatic difference. Everyone has all the rims done because it's like, yeah, okay, I was afraid it wasn't going to do anything, but you took away that resistance because you actually showed me that it has a big difference, that it looks different. And
that's a key element too, is letting them see, letting them wait,
letting them experience
see the difference, and not doing it all at once and say, going, I don't see any difference.
Yeah.
But there's a contrast if you do it and leave it. Right.
I mean, think about how that can apply to contractors that specialize in the home. Let's say you're a pressure washer and you're doing, house A has hired you to come pressure wash their patio or their roof or whatever. And, hey, we're here, we're pressure washing. Let's go ahead and talk to the neighbor. Hey, would you like us to do half your driveway, to see it? Or, let us just do half of your walkway here. And if you don't notice a difference, no harm, no foul. But if you want, we'll finish it off and here's what we charge. I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can take that strategy and just reduce that fear on them by showing them some results in advance.
And you see, most contractors, most people are afraid of free.
Yeah.
But done in the right context, it can be a gold mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And interestingly enough, people don't get addicted to free. What they get addicted to are discounts. So if you're the guy that's always offering, $100 off coupon, you're going to attract people who wait till they get the $100 off coupon. If you do free, well, they don't get addicted to free because they know there's a special reason why you did something for free. Right. It's temporary. It's to get more business. It's, free if you do X. So, free is not something they get addicted to, but they will get addicted to the discount. I think that's, and the other thing too that you and I look at, Dave, is we'll look at a situation and go, okay, it's going to cost me money to acquire a new customer. No matter what, it's going to cost me money. Now, I'm either going to be running an ad in the paper, sending out a postcard, doing a direct mail, whatever it is, or, I'm over here, I'm already helping this one guy. Why don't I just do this for the neighbor and see if I can pick up the business? And if I don't get it, well, how many times do I put an ad in the paper that doesn't pull enough? Or, I send out a direct mail piece and I don't get responded to, easily the majority, right? So this is no different. Sometimes you're going to hit a grand slam. Other times you're going to do something for free, not going to end up getting the business. No harm, no foul. Go on to the next.
Yeah. What if you waste a little bit of time?
Yeah.
And most of the time, there's a contrast. If they can see it between this, what you've done, And what's left over, they're going to say, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that it was that dirty.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And if
But I think
if
that's
there
the key.
isn't that high of a contrast, like in that example, then really are you bringing value? I mean, that would be the question that I would have. Like why would someone pay for something that doesn't bring them value? You know?
Right.
If all you're trying to do is just go out there and take someone's money, well, there's other issues going on here that need to be addressed. There has to be a value for your client, or what's anybody doing? That doesn't make any sense.
No, and that's the key part about doing business with, higher end homes and people that, that have wealth, is that they're really not, they're more value conscious than they are price conscious.
Mm.
And I know that, that doesn't make sense, but they have, they really are, I'm going to say it again, they're more value conscious than they are price conscious. And I know that I've talked about this before, that I remember Justin saying he had given a lady a price that was average for him, but she thought it was too cheap. And she told him that she was afraid that it was too cheap and that he was going to end up overcharging her in the end because he didn't get the price he wanted. So she said, I don't want to do business with you. And that's kind of funny. I just had a job not too long ago. I had bid a job to clean a lady roof. It was almost $1,900. And somebody came in at 14, I forget, $1,400 or less than that. And she wanted to know why mine was higher. And I said, well, I measured it, and everything is based on the measurements. And she said that they said that there was like a 500 square foot less. And I don't know how they measured, but I showed her how I measured and explained everything. And she went and looked. She goes, yeah. She goes, you know what? I'm going to take your price because I know that if they made a mistake, they're going to say I made a mistake, and they may charge me more.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna bite the bullet and have you do it because you were upfront and you gave me the real measurement.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can live with that. And that was a bugger of a house too.
And coming back to that price thing, so I have a lot of ivy on my back fence, and it's really high because our dog used to be able to jump the fence, and so we kept like extending it higher and higher. So our fence in one spot, it's got to be like 20 feet high.
Oh my!
She couldn't jump it when it got over probably 12 or 14 feet, something like that. But she could do a lot before that. So anyway, we've got right now in California, Southern California specifically, we've got a crazy mosquito problem that we haven't had before. Some new mosquito is invaded, and it's horrible. So my backyard is horrible, where I've never had mosquitoes. Now it's like I hate going out there to barbecue because I'm getting bit to death.
Oh my!
And so I wanted to have all of the ivy trimmed back so we can get more sun and hopefully kill off more of these mosquitoes. And so I asked our gardener, I'm like, hey, give me a quote. I know you're probably going to have to bring someone else out here. And I told him everything I wanted. And so he goes, I'll do it for $200. And I'm thinking, okay, $200, that's way too cheap. And I even told my wife, I go, look, I'm going to give him $250. I know he said $200, but I'm going to give him $250 because he's an older gentleman. He doesn't speak very good English. And I'm like, I know he could use the money, and he's a good guy, right? He's a great guy.
Yes,
so I'm going to give it to him. So he apparently gets sick, but I didn't know he got sick because he just didn't come to our house for like a month.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'm getting eaten alive out here. I got to ask someone else. So I call up this other guy who's done some work for us, have him come over to my house and walk him around, show him everything I want. And he quotes me $500. And I do it. Because it wasn't about the money. It was like I wanted the result. Like that's what I was after. Yeah. And unfortunately, the original guy who I would have given the business to, he just was sick. I didn't know he was sick. He didn't communicate anything to me.
He didn't call you.
No, which doesn't surprise me. I don't even know if he has my phone number. It's one of those situations where you've been around so long, right? They just show, here's my bill. Okay, here you go. And but my point is, it wasn't about the money. So I wanted the result. I want the mosquitoes dead.
Right.
I know I got to trim back the ivy, get more sun back here. So hopefully that'll stop the mosquitoes as much. But yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing that happens all the time in our mind when it comes to the price. You know, oh, they're not going to spend more than X, and you quote them that instead of just quoting what you need to quote.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy. It's a crazy world out there.
Yeah, it is. Cool.
I think we covered it. I think we
All
beat
right.
it to death again.
We did. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on this episode of Contractor Secret Weapon. We've actually got some cool stuff that Dave and I are going to be announcing here in the coming weeks. So make sure you keep tuned in next Monday as we release another episode. So until then, thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Super. Goodbye.